This is a really cool setting any time of the year for a NASCAR event.
More horsepower with the short track road course package, and there are the tire packs outside turn number 5 and tire stacks in turn 1. Well, who will be the stars today? Will they all be chasing SVG, or will a new star emerge? And how about a first-time winner? We'll see here at Watkins Glen. Short chute leading to the final corner. There's the start of the restart zone. Shane van Gisbergen is on it. The green flag is waving. They come off the final turn and address themselves to the start-finish line. We're racing at Watkins.
Oh, you see some tire smoke right there out of Ross Chastain's car. Gets that car fit into that gap right there down on the bottom of the corner, and everybody pretty calm right here on this first start, Clint.
And then as you come up through the S, it's very narrow. You want to get things sorted out pretty quick. You're door to door, like you see Blaney. I don't know who that was on the inside, but that's an opportunity for somebody coming behind you to pounce on you guys.
175 miles an hour at the end of this back straight before you dive into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to be side by side. You have to get it worked out or give a whole lot of room. And what that does, you see a couple cars dancing all over the place right there. It's like the 7 car of Daniel Suarez. You can run on the outside in this carousel, but man, it is tough to go through that bus stop side by side.
Ty Gibbs trying to make a spot there, and
looks like
Allmendinger down the inside in the 16. Briscoe around the outside trying to take a spot away and diving into the final corner against Ty Gibbs. The Ford Racing Cam on board Austin Cindric as Ross Chastain dives to the inside at turn 1 and holds that line into 2.
Tight with half.
Look how narrow it is up through the S. Is asking a lot out of these cars. Very narrow racing quarters, and now you are flat to the floor and flying through there.
Connor Zilisch right with them. He's already got one checkered flag this weekend.
Now it's a game of chicken getting into the bus stop. It really is.
And you see Zilisch keep that car up on the outside.
Now he's going to get aggressive.
And Joey Logano underneath his teammate.
Yeah, it really put Cindric in a bad spot when he was on the outside going into the carousel right there. Didn't really expect Zilisch to probably keep that car in position to run side by side through the middle of the bus stop.
Well, it didn't just cost him one position, cost him another. Bell got in the back of him, crossed him up. Cindric struggling.
And here we go with 2 to go. When he crosses that start-finish line, the pits will close with 2 laps to go.
And the advantage that he had taking the being a leader was he could wait an extra lap. But they saw how many cars pitted, and they knew that they would be in big trouble if they stayed on the racetrack.
And now no one else can pit because the pits are closed all the way down to Jamie Little.
So far, so perfect for Shane van Gisbergen. Led the first 18 laps of this one. They count him down all the way into the number 1 box. Remember, a lot of these teams, they've swapped the front changer and the rear changer just to keep things and have muscle memory the same. Solid stop for the 97.
Yeah, and I love when he took off right there. Not a lot of wheel spin. You want to take care of those rear tires every chance that you get. You see a lot of guys that burn the tires. He just locked the thing forward and managed that wheel spin to be virtually none.
He came in leading. He comes out in, I believe, 9th place, 8th or 9th place.
Ross Chastain, you know, we talked about him needing to make a day out of this, and they're choosing to take these points right here and put themselves in a spot to make sure that they get something out of this day.
And speaking of days, look at the 22 right behind him. I remember yesterday in practice, Kevin, wondering, man, these guys are still not on pace. Really turned their day around in that qualifying run, matching the pace of Austin Cindric. He was fast in practice, but that 22 car wasn't necessarily as fast as he was. Made some big wholesale changes and got themselves in a position to get stage points right here. Big turnaround.
Yeah, speaking of stage points, Chase Elliott stayed out to score stage points. He's not going to score them. He's sitting there running 11th, and now he's going to be deep in the field because he'll have to pit at the end of the stage.
Ross Chastain earns his 3rd stage win of the season. Now, here was the race for the final stage point. You think points aren't important? Watch this.
Oh, yeah, they're close right here. You see McDowell on the inside, Riley Herbst on the outside, and Bubba Wallace is right there in the middle and just misses out on getting that final point.
A couple of drivers had trouble on pit road. Brad Keselowski slid through his pit. He is now 35th. and Noah Gregson. Remember, we're pitting on the right side at the only time that we do that this year, and two of the crewmen ran into each other during the stop. So Gregson is at the back. And we are back to green for stage 2.
Yeah, you see how late that SVG takes off in that restart zone. He did that on the start as well, and the leader has that option anywhere in that whole box.
Well, they were 3 wide into turn 1 back at 6th place.
Yeah, and these are, you saw him out there cleaning the track a little bit, but this is really when those marbles come into play, when you have to run side by side through some of these corners.
That is a very good point, Kevin. Those marbles that we saw on the outside, when you're too wide, you have to run through them, and it takes a while to clean those off your tires. It's not just a corner or two, sometimes even a lap.
Yeah, if you get all 4 tires up in those marbles when it's oh, we see some contact right there with Cole Custer and Carson Hocevar. More contact in the back. Zane Smith in the 38 and Kyle Larson. You see him.
Larson is still in trouble.
He's still struggling.
And here comes Blaney way to the inside, and Larson shaking the car back and forth like he might have a tire or wheel issue.
Or those marbles that we talked about.
Yeah, good point on that, Clint. You know, typically you would shake the car around like that if you thought something was wrong, but with those marbles, and now he's still stuck in that second lane. No matter how they clean it up, you're still collecting all those marbles.
I think you might see a move to the inside for Zilisch right here. I want to pounce on him as fast as I possibly can, try to make this pass. Here he comes to the inside. Then I want to go out there, stretch my lead out on him a little bit and start managing my tires then. But try to make the pass while you still have some goodie left in your Goodyears.
Textbook pass there, and I like that McDowell let him go. If you're going to get past, don't you want to do it where it's going to take the least amount of add to your lap time?
Well, Kevin, when you see the 88 car of Connor Zilisch running in second place right there, this is almost a perfect scenario for what he and the team wanted for today. The goal was to get in a position to where they could be behind Shane van Gisbergen, follow him, figure out exactly how to pace these tires in this Cup car, which is different than the cars that he's been running up until this point at Watkins Glen. Right now, he's just told the team that, yes, I am managing my brakes, I'm managing my tires. They've been on the radio continuously reminding him about that. And when you think about the pressure that 88 team is under to have a good performance today, they told me all that matters to us is to make sure Connor is having fun. The rest will take care of itself.
Caution.
And caution is out. The first caution for cause today.
Uh-oh.
And there is the debris.
What's that, Kevin?
Well, it looks something has obviously blown onto the racetrack. Not sure where it came from.
Well, we can show you.
Oh.
Whoa. Somebody's canopy or part of their campground area went awry, and away it went.
We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Well, yeah, but you see a lot of things like this in Kansas.
That was like one of those wind tornadoes or something went through there.
Yeah, and then it blows all the way out onto the racetrack.
Look at that. McDowell stays out.
Regan?
Well, there's never a question for the 88 with Connor Zilisch. What they would do is immediately pit when we get around to here. The car's still too tight to the rights. It's a little better to the lefts now. Josh?
The call for the 54 was M&M. They came in to pit here. The biggest complaint for Ty Gibbs was just getting too free towards the end of those runs, Jamie.
Shane van Gisbergen's led 38 laps today. He said the tires are wearing, but they're not bad at all. He wondered if this was too soon to come, but they said, I think everybody's coming. We need to come in.
Now, 6 cars stayed on track and did not pit. McDowell, Suarez, Bell, Wallace, Nemechek, and Herbst. Michael McDowell questioned Travis Peterson on staying out, and here's what the crew chief told him.
I want you to understand, this is the way we win this race. These guys are going to have to put 9 laps on their tires. They're either going to flip it again, just like we're going to here in about 7 laps, or we're going to have way better tires than them. This is the move. It was not going to follow them down and win this race. Yep, copy.
Chase Briscoe had to jack up his car twice and drop from 8th to 20th on the pit stop. Here we go.
You can already see SVG down on the bottom, trying to get work done quick. Here he comes.
Yeah, and this is really when you'll start to see Riley Herbst get outside 3 wide and got tagged. from that middle car. Didn't know that they were 3 wide right there, it looked like to me.
I think that was Nemechek was the meat in the sandwich there with Van Gisbergen on the bottom.
And watch what SVG will be able to do going into that bus stop. Still double wide back there. More contact.
Connor Zilisch getting mired back in traffic. Didn't get through him quite as good as his teammate.
See him just able to throw that car in there and make that pass. Tyler Reddick gets shoved wide, but...
Oh, one around. That is William Byron. He gets hit by Blaney. And look at them scramble out of the bus stop. We stay green. Byron gets it refired and drives away.
Gosh, that could have been way worse, guys. With William Byron turned around in the middle of that pack like that, whole field.
Right rear toe link spent, guys.
William Byron makes his way to his pit stall as Van Gisbergen dispatches Suarez.
Yeah, and he's going to go up there and win this stage.
Well, let's go back to the inner loop and show you what happened that ended up with William Byron turned around.
Yeah, we saw everybody get jammed up going through the infield. See Reddick wide right there. He hit the inside wall, and then you just see contact.
I think it was Chris Buescher that got into Byron. Buescher was over onto the grass, come back up into the track and got into Byron. Spun him around, but even before that, I even saw Reddick side by side. I don't know if he clipped that inside wall, but he was oh so close.
Yeah.
That's how these restarts get chaotic when you have tires and no tires staying out. That's where this place can wreak havoc on a driver, like SVG coming up through. Zilisch was right in the middle of this. Look at this. They're everywhere. Oh, it was close. Right in Blaney's lap.
There are things happening. People sliding in the dirt. Look at that, Clint. I mean, just absolutely demolished the 71 car with the tire advantage as well. But as we saw from yesterday in qualifying, and we've seen as he's going through traffic, he's just able to manage the brakes and drive in further than anybody to make those passes.
Larry, coming to the stage end here, will anybody flip this stage? What do you see here?
Well, if you're back in the pack, I don't see why you wouldn't get fresh tires, but you're going to have to come this time. The 97 is pretty convinced the 71 is going to flip the stage. He can run one more lap. He can run to 2 to go.
Off the final corner for the final lap of stage number 2. Shane van Gisbergen gets his first stage win since the Charlotte Roval last October. All right, stage 3, longest stage of the day at 50 laps. It will require a pit stop. The question will be when. Here we go, back to green for the final stage at Watkins Glen.
Everybody's been pretty clean off of turn 1 today. It's like they're all pretty nervous about those tire packs out there. These guys have done a great job to be able to not tear anything up yet.
Well, I think that means that tire packs are doing exactly what they needed to do, and that serves a good purpose there. I didn't like when they could run off the track like that. Reddick putting the pressure on him. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, when we interviewed Tyler Reddick before the race, I mean, you could just hear the confidence as you see just a Congo line of cars back here, just nose to tail.
Well, Chastain went after Briscoe side by side going into the inner loop, and there he got the spot. So move Chastain up tonight.
There is some debris on the surface.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen, where Joey Logano has had trouble. He's lost a tire. Yeah. And it ends up on the track, and the yellow flag waves for the 4th time today.
Yeah, and I think that the tire is actually against the guardrail, but that rocker panel, Mike, was coming apart so bad, I don't think they had any choice but to throw the caution. See that left front tire right here. I don't know if it was down before he got onto the brakes, but
it looked like it was. Larry, this warms things up in the old pit box, doesn't it?
Well, we got 40 laps to go. We're probably about a lap or 2 from opening pit road. Gonna go back racing probably with what, about 36 to go. I think you got to come here and try to save a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The best pit crew is that 54, as we've seen most of the day right now.
The first 2 faint, and the others inside the commit box and headed for pit road.
It is what it is. It's going to be a scenario like yesterday. All these guys are going to be 3 or 4 laps short, have to save a bunch to make it. They're all going to try to make it from here, I think.
Oh, okay.
And here we go with, it'll be 37 laps to go at the line. Allmendinger's going to get a spot here, and they're side by side for the lead entering the corner.
Always amazes me that on these road courses, A.J. Allmendinger just finds a way to get himself towards the front at the end of these races.
Now Connor Zilisch, the 88, just had a right front lockup.
Oh, and that's a long way.
Pretty good one. Right into the bus stop. That's exactly what you try not to do earlier in these runs.
Every time I did that, I just wound up going slower. These kids and these guys that are on the edge like that all the time. Yesterday we saw him rip the splitter, half the splitter off the car, and still came back and won the race in the O'Reilly Series race yesterday. So
Austin Dillon, 10th place. He is the third of the cars that just took on tires, and here's what they're telling him.
All right, we need to be long gears here. Long gears everywhere we can. Short shifting and long gears everywhere we can.
Save fuel. Briscoe having a look inside Dillon. They also stopped at the same time. And here comes Allmendinger on Tyler Reddick. Down to turn 2 and makes the pass. Now Allmendinger is kind of on a middle strategy. Van Gisbergen stopped at lap 41. Allmendinger 11 laps later. Ty Gibbs 9 laps after that.
Reddick's in trouble.
McDowell goes by for third. 29 laps to go. Tyler Reddick made a pit stop because he thought the contact between Josh Bilicki and Catherine Legg would bring out a caution. It has not. We stay green. Van Gisbergen with 5 seconds on A.J. Allmendinger. McDowell right behind. And the 45 of Reddick comes back on track in 34th. Well, Van Gisbergen, as you see on the graph on the left, has less fuel than anybody else on track. And Larry, if he pits under green, it seems like an insurmountable task to make that up unless everybody else has to pit. Larry,
here he comes.
Here he comes. The leader, Shane van Gisbergen, is going to pit. He's led 67 of 75 laps so far. Long way to the end of pit road, where he has pit stall number 1 down at the bottom of the hill. Making what he hopes will be his final stop and handing the lead over to Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, and as I look at these lap times, Jamie?
They count him into his box. SVG is here. He needs enough fuel to make it 24 more laps in regulation. A 4-tire stop here as he sees the field flying by him here in the number 1 stop. Box it down and away.
Nemechek and Elliott are in. So is Bowman.
And if it runs green right here, I mean, Larry, you tell me if I'm wrong. Even if Connor Zilisch or some of these guys can't make it, there's going to be several cars that try to make this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There may be some not make it. We saw it yesterday in the O'Reilly Series race, but somebody's going to make it.
Somebody will.
So Shane van Gisbergen came back on track around 24th spot. He is up to 21st, and he needs to gain 1.3 seconds a lap on the leader to have a chance of getting there before the checkered flag waves. Here's his radio.
We just need our pace for 23 laps, so we'll get most of the ones, and the ones that are backing down we'll probably get 2.
Yeah, I think you're going to have to go get most of these guys. They're saving. Tires are older.
In other words, you're on your own. 19 seconds
to save.
back, Clint, with 17 laps to go.
Yeah, I think there's a real possibility if he doesn't get hung up too much here, Clint.
Well,
in traffic, like this is not what he needs right here. He needs to catch him in the brake zone and go right by him. But this is what'll save those guys from him catching them, is catching them in the wrong spot like he did with that 77 car. Like that's probably going to hurt his lap. Well, we'll find out. No reason to speculate. We're almost to the start-finish line.
So he had to follow Hocevar through the carousel and down the straightaway before making the pass. Next car ahead is Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, he actually dove to pit road, it looked like right there.
And Van Gisbergen now 19.5 seconds back. So that's the wrong way.
Yeah, that lap time hurt him about at 1 second. And you see just how much he had left in his car. That's the amazing part. Like on those old tires before, he ran at 13.0, which was, or he ran at 12.99 actually, which was his quick lap. And now the thing that makes him great is the fact that he can make those passes so easy under braking and lose so little time.
And I think this time is only going to get easier as it goes. Their tires are wearing out, they're saving fuel, and his tires are fresh, and he's going to roll.
Yeah, so they're all in fuel saving mode, and they're all on old tires. He's not in fuel saving mode, and he's on newer tires. So he's got twice the things going for him.
It just shows you how much he had in reserve, how much they were pulling the reins back on that thoroughbred.
And he does that a lot on his own. I don't even know that he tells his team how much he's holding back or what he's doing, because he's so savvy in the things that he does during practice, what he says in the media. Oh, there's that tire again, Clint.
Try to get him if you can.
All right, there you go. Turn him loose.
You're going to have to, or he's going to catch us and beat us anyway. But he's going to have to make quick work of this 54 if he can do it. Oh! This is not what those leaders want to see. If a caution comes out now.
Caution's coming out, Clint.
Josh Berry and another car around. Whoa, side by side, and Zilisch almost caught the guardrail entering the inner loop.
Another right front lockup, and this is going to slow them both down big time this lap.
Yeah, you see that 51.
Van Gisbergen inside of 6 seconds now.
It's exactly what SVG needs.
He's already by the 3 car. He's going to clear this 19 car off the carousel right here. Larry?
Yeah, so here's the trends of the race. I looked at the first 11 races in 2026, average of the last caution, 10 to go, which right now would be lap 90. My experience, when you tell a driver at a road course there's 10 to go, the wires just start sparking inside the helmets.
So, right, it is sparking in the 88. He's trying all he can do to get around to 54, and now it's every corner right front lockup. What an unbelievable effort by Shane van Gisbergen. This is a performance display. Look how far Zilisch just fell off now.
And NASCAR adding 10 laps to the length of this race for 2026 has made this a real nail biter.
Yeah, it was always a little bit too short. And then I think the way that it made this pit window and the way that it made this scenario today to have this pit sequence work out the way that it did, I thought that they were crazy on this 97 car with the way that they pitted, but man, has it worked out.
Whoa. He's got a right front down. Told you. He's done.
Coming to 8 laps to go, and Shane van Gisbergen on a completely different strategy is now once again within sight of the lead. He and Michael McDowell on the same strategy. McDowell back up to 6th, having a real good day.
Yeah, and he's going to be leading going into the bus stop, I believe. That's how soon this is going to happen.
Zilisch to pit road.
Kevin, he made up 22 seconds, somewhere around in there, on the racetrack. That car pitted, Kevin. Yeah, the car, it went to pit road and took tires.
Yeah, well, he's going to be the leader here in a couple seconds. See Ty Gibbs get loose right there off of turn 4, and SVG is going to go right on by. And if you're that 54 car right now, you just let him go and really go into heavy save mode to just make sure that you get everything that you can.
Down by almost 30 seconds. He's going to win by easy. Unbelievable.
Checkered flag. Shane van Gisbergen is the master of NASCAR road racing. Josh Berry off at turn 1 on his final lap. He and Hocevar got together. 7th career win.
Gonna need some tires, boys.